WHO Adverse Reaction Terminologies. MedDRA, Medical Dictionary for Regulatory Activities, is a standardized medical terminology used for the classification of adverse events, ACE, and other medical phenomena associated with the use of pharmaceuticals, biologics, and medical devices. MedDRA was developed by the International Council for Harmonization of Technical Requirements for Pharmaceuticals for Human Use, IC, and is maintained by the MedDRA Maintenance and Support Services Organization, MSSO. MedDRA is used by regulatory authorities such as the US Food and Drug Administration, FDA, and the European Medicines Agency, EMA, to classify ACE reported during clinical trials and post-marketing surveillance. It consists of a hierarchical system of preferred terms, PTs, organized into system organ classes, SOCs. The SOCs are further subdivided into high-level group terms, which are then subdivided into lower-level terms. The use of MedDRA allows for standardized reporting and analysis of ACE, which enhances the ability of regulatory authorities to monitor the safety of pharmaceuticals and medical devices. It also facilitates the exchange of information between regulatory authorities, industry, and other stakeholders, thereby contributing to the overall improvement of patient safety. Here's an example of how MedDRA can be used to classify an adverse event. Let's say a patient participating in a clinical trial for a new medication reports feeling dizzy and experiencing nausea. The researcher responsible for monitoring the patient's safety would use MedDRA to classify these symptoms. First, the researcher would select the appropriate system organ class, SOC, for the symptoms. In this case, the SOC would be nervous system disorders, for the dizziness, and gastrointestinal disorders, for the nausea. Next, the researcher would select the appropriate preferred term, PT, to describe the symptoms. For dizziness, the PT could be vertigo, or dizziness, and for nausea, the PT would be nausea. Finally, the researcher would report the adverse event using the MedDRA code for the PT. For example, the code for dizziness is 10,013,944 and the code for nausea is 10,028,867. By using MedDRA, the researcher can accurately classify the adverse event and report it in a standardized manner, which facilitates analysis and reporting to regulatory authorities. Standardized MedDRA queries, SMQs, are a set of predefined searches within the MedDRA hierarchy that can be used to identify specific groups of adverse events or medical conditions. SMQs were developed by the MedDRA Maintenance and Support Services Organization, MSSO, to facilitate the standardized analysis of adverse event data. SMQs are designed to identify specific groups of adverse events or medical conditions that may be of interest for further investigation. For example, there are SMQs for cardiac disorders, hepatic disorders, and skin and subcutaneous tissue disorders, among others. Using SMQs can help to identify potential safety signals more efficiently, by allowing for a standardized and systematic approach to the analysis of adverse event data. They can also facilitate the comparison of adverse event data across different studies or products, as well as the exchange of information between regulatory authorities and industry. Thanks for watching.